This is Fast Fizz, a shorter episode of Fizz Free to listen on the go. And today the topic is celebrities and alcohol. Did you know that world leaders like Joe Biden, Donald Trump and Rishi Sunak are all teetotal? Perhaps if you don't have much in common with them, you do with some of these other big names. Cristiano Ronaldo, Jim Carrey, Naomi Campbell, Calvin Harris, Pharrell Williams, Tom Cruise, Bradley Cooper, Val Kilmer, Ewan McGregor, Daniel Radcliffe, Alice Cooper, Michael J. Fox and Samuel L. Jackson, to name but a few. But for Ruth, it's the celebrities who endorse alcohol products that are a bit more problematic. Take a listen. Let us know your thoughts on this Fast Fizz.
Hello and welcome to Fast Fizz. Today you're joined by Ruth and Jane and we're going to be discussing celebrities who endorse alcohol. So Jane, I was sat there the other day and I watched the TV and there was an advert that came up and it was talking about this new whiskey that David Beckham had developed. I think it's probably ages old, but actually it just got me thinking, how is one of the physically fittest sportsmen on the planet endorsing a substance which is known to actually decrease your fitness levels, decrease your health? And I was like, that's crazy. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I immediately know the answer. One, he's got pound signs in his eyes. And two, because don't forget, Ruth, everybody drinks moderately and responsibly. So they'll only have
of course.
Silly Billy.
I forgot.
That is the answer to that question. I know what you mean. I've got to actually tell you, you've just reminded me. I remember walking down the supermarket aisle and picking up a bottle of rosé wine by Kylie Minogue. She had just brought it out. She's got on the label there, like her signature, just the word Kylie written really casually and cool right across the bottle, and thinking, oh yes, well, if lovely, bright, sunny, bouncy Kylie Minogue is endorsing a wine, then I shall have some of that. Maybe I'll be like Kylie. I mean, on some level, that must be what celebrity endorsements do to our suggestive brains.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think the problem with this is it's advertised that it's normal for these people to drink and have drink in their lives quite often. And I can absolutely guarantee that these people aren't drinking this every night. They're probably not even drinking it every weekend, but they're trying to show the public that, hey, look at me, I'm really, really fit, but I've got this party lifestyle. I relax with a glass of whiskey every night. And to me, it's quite irresponsible, if that's okay to say. I think it is a false advertisement because he would not be as fit as he is if he was doing that every night. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and actually I can imagine some people endorse a product that they wouldn't ever touch at all. Maybe he's not even a whiskey drinker. Maybe David Beckham's a white wine kind of a guy anyway. So how authentic and truthful is that? Like you, when I've seen a celebrity endorsement of an alcohol, I just sort of go, that's a bit of a shame. Batter me with your perfumes and your aftershaves. That's quite plausible. I might, try a bit of that because I know it's not going to pickle my liver, give me 7 types of cancer and shorten my life, really. So when I see a celebrity endorsing an alcoholic product, I do sort of think, oh, did we have to go there? It's like somebody making a really distasteful joke. You just sort of think, oh, come on, really?
Do you know what? You've just absolutely made me have a flashback. I don't know if it was the Graham Norton show or something like that, but they had Justin Timberlake as a guest on there. This was donkeys years ago. And he'd bought out, I think it was either a vodka or a whiskey. I'd have to Google it to find out. And I remember Graham Norton, because he always, if you've ever watched his show,
yeah.
He always has a little travel bar, doesn't he? And he always pours his guests a little drink. And he took on Justin Timberlake in a little challenge. And he kept saying, right, have one more shot. And literally by the end of it, and this is when I was still drinking and thought it was hilarious that this famous, beautiful celebrity was getting drunk on TV. But even then I picked up that he was looking at Graham Norton thinking, oh my God, I really shouldn't be drinking this. Please don't force me to have one more, but I've got to show I'm taking part because this is my brand. I'm meant to love it and I'm meant to drink it all the time.
Oh, it was his own brand.
It was his own brand.
Oh, wow.
And it's stuck in my head. It's really stuck in my head because I just thought, he doesn't want to be drinking that. And as a consumer, picking up on that, I was like, is it because he doesn't like it and he's just thinking of the money? Or is it because he knows he shouldn't be drinking that much because of his health, or that he's worried about doing something embarrassing on TV? But it vividly stuck in my mind.
How interesting then for him to experience a little bit of that sort of social pressure that other people must have going on silently and invisibly in their minds when they are looking at something endorsed by a shiny, happy celebrity influencer. I mean, that's the word these days, right? An influencer. If they're showing you a lovely glitzy bottle with sparkly gold bits floating in a clear liquid and pouring it into a glamorous glass, and they seem to have a great lifestyle, it is going to be persuasive on some level. And it all comes down to money, doesn't it? That is all it's doing is lining their bank account. And I think that's why I find it quite disappointing when I see it happening.
The next one really shocked me when I was having a little research into this. Ryan Reynolds has got his own gin brand. Now, Ryan Reynolds is a really famous actor who has been so open, so brave and so honest about his struggles with anxiety, like crippling anxiety is how he's worded it in the past. And I'm like, how can somebody who suffers with anxiety so bad endorse a toxic substance which is directly linked to anxiety?
Again, I refer you to points 1, ka-ching, ka-ching in the pound sign in the eyes, and point 2, Ruth, people are only going to have 2 sips because everybody moderately controls their drinking.
It's just wrong. I mean, I've got loads here. Conor McGregor has got a whiskey, and this one, right, you imagine one of the most beautiful women in the world, very slim, very slender, very healthy, very beautiful. It's Kendall Jenner, and she's got a tequila brand out.
Oh, really?
Yep, tequila. It's called Tequila Blanco.
That's a
or
messy
something like
drink,
that.
that.
Is that because a tequila brand looked at her and thought, she's a model, she's partying, I know what would suit her personality, let's get tequila on there? And I just think, in a way, are they exploited as celebrities? Are they kind of drawn in and just go with it because of the pound signs? Like, should we feel sorry for them? I don't know. It's quite controversial, really, isn't it?
I suppose a lot are just led by what their managers advise them to do, aren't they? But yeah, who else? Have you got any others up your sleeve? Any other celebrities you want to introduce me to?
Do you know, I'm actually going to flip it now, Jane. I'm going to go with the positives.
Okay.
Let's shuffle away these negatives. And I'm going to say, I'm going to go for 3 names, and let's see if you can recall, because I think this is a testament. Probably so many people can look at and remember alcohol brands related to celebrities. Let's see if people can think of the other flip side. I'm going to say Taylor Swift. I'm going to say Jessica Simpson and Michelle Heaton. Tell me if you know anything about them and alcohol.
Ooh, yeah, the last 2. Michelle Heaton, who got sober maybe about 6 months before me, and is really outspoken about it. Used to be in Liberty X and now looks incredibly toned and is quite an advocate for an alcohol-free lifestyle. Jessica Simpson, same. I think she's shared a few messy pictures from herself back in heavy drinking days. But I'm not sure about that third name. Who was that?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, yeah, I do know her, just to point that out. Taylor who?
I was going to say.
But I don't know anything about alcohol in terms of her name. So tell me about her.
I loved this when I read it. So Taylor Swift has openly come out, because I've watched her Netflix show. She's amazing, but quite often she was featured having a glass of wine. And it's come out that to prepare for her world tour, which has been a huge success, she's gone alcohol free.
Oh,
because
I didn't know
she
that.
said, she's gone alcohol free, and she's been very open and quite good at advertising the fact that by being alcohol free, she's felt fitter, because she needed, in her words, she said, I need to have more energy on stage, and I need to make sure that I'm bringing my A game to every show. So I've cut alcohol out.
What's interesting is I also watched that documentary and I completely did not notice that part.
Really?
Really. I mean, I know that her show's like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, intense exercise on stage. And you see her evolve over the years and become quite mature in how she handles things and direction. So it makes perfect sense what you're saying. I believe you. Does sound like it would fit in that documentary, but maybe I was pouring myself a ginger beer at the time or something.
No, she didn't actually mention it on a documentary. On a documentary, you saw her drinking. This has been a recent thing, and it's only been on the online news that I've been reading it. It's very, very, I think she's only been sober for 6 months, and we're in January 24 now, and she's obviously been doing her world tour for quite some time. But yeah, it must have been partway through the tour or whatever that she's decided, actually, alcohol doesn't help me to do this. I need to cut it out of my life, which I just think is brilliant because she's so influential. She's got so many fans and followers. For her to get that message out is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's given us a great idea. We'll invite her on the show next time.
Oh my God, could you imagine? That would be amazing.
It would be amazing, actually.
So I think, looking at it, you've got two sides to the story. You've got celebrities who are endorsing it, which I think is really irresponsible and just they shouldn't be doing it from a moral point of view, if nothing else. But then you've got celebrities who are so brave, sharing their stories of how they've overcome alcohol or promoting that they don't drink. I mean, people like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's openly said he hasn't had a drink for ages. There's lots and lots of people who have been sober for years. Frank Skinner, for example, he's been sober so long.
Elton John, probably the longest of everybody.
John?
Yeah, don't forget Sir Elton John's You and Me.
Of course, yeah. I mean, which is just brilliant. You know, we need more people openly admitting that life is better without alcohol.
Thanks for listening to Fizz Free. Find us online on Facebook, YouTube, on X and Instagram, as well as most major streaming platforms. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, the email is fizzfree0, the number 0, @gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us and to give us a like and a share to spread the word. Changing your relationship with alcohol. Less fizz, more free.